random. You know how like the whole like Chinese people eat dogs, whatever. I asked my mom about that one time and I was like, Mom, have you ever eaten dog? And I was like kind of younger and she was like, honestly, yeah, probably.
I came across this video on my For You page on TikTok following the bit of clip that I inserted in the previous video where I was speaking about some Chinese who look at being Chinese as a weakness. So Chinese way to development has been a piece of puzzle that so many people have been able to try to put together and try to understand how have they been able to come out of poverty. Why do they work hard? What's the philosophy behind their hard work? So I came across this clip.
My other thing with people romanticizing China right now, and you know what, I get it. I'm American. I'm Chinese American. I've been to China like every other year since I was like 1 year old. China's amazing. It's an incredible place to vacation. But okay, the one thing that people don't understand if they're not Chinese or from China is that every generation besides people my age have experienced famine. They have experienced literal starvation to the point like they understand what it's like to have nothing. When my parents grew up in China and they grew up poor. Everyone grew up poor back then, but they understand the purpose for the revolution. The fact that millions of people died, more millions of people suffered in famine. They went through insane policies. Government took people's land to build these high-speed railroads. Like, they had to sacrifice so much, not just like themselves, but that like Chinese people as a people, they collectively sacrificed so that they can get what the life that they have now, basically, right? And they fully understand that. Also, so random, you know how like the whole like Chinese people eat dogs, whatever. I asked my mom about that one time and I was like, Mom, have you ever eaten dog? And I was like kind of younger and she was like, honestly, yeah, probably. I don't remember when we were kids and we were starving, we would eat anything. So there it is.
There you have it. Chinese had once eaten dog. So they ate dog in the past. And you can see the explanation behind it. Because most of the time when we speak of China, we think that they had nothing to sacrifice for them to be where they are at right now. Their government had just to make things easy for them. And once you go to China, you get to experience the freedom, the amazing culture, the futuristic cities, the comfort, the safety that you get to experience. But it's important that we understand this aspect of their history. It's also impressive to see how this element of history has been able to tremendously change Chinese mindset. And they're always looking after each other. They have this way of life that's always impressed foreigners. We've seen how many foreigners have been impressed. I've also read comments from you guys who have been expressing concern of travelers going to China. You are saying that you wouldn't want them to spoil the culture there. And you can see how Chinese are always emphasizing on their culture. They will tell you everything about their culture before you travel to their country. So it's really amazing to see, and I got few clips to illustrate what I'm trying to explain right here. Enjoy the clips. Like the video for recommendation, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Let's make this impactful change.
Why do Chinese people care so much about what others think? I ask myself this question a lot, and I still don't have a clear answer. In China, we grow up believing the group comes first: family, school, society. In Western cultures, it's more about you, your personal freedom, your feelings, your independence. Neither is better or worse, just different, but they lead to very different ways of thinking.
These classmates' heartwarming hospital visit to their friend battling leukemia has gone viral in China. It all began when a content creator came across a group of students selling small items by the roadside. Curious, she stopped to chat, only to learn they were selling their belongings to raise money for their friend, Xia, who was in the hospital battling leukemia. They shared how much they missed him. It had been exactly 112 days since they last saw him. As his condition worsened, they could only communicate through FaceTime. Deeply moved, the creator partnered with Xia's family and the classmates to organize a surprise hospital visit. She helped arrange a bus to bring them all together. Many of the students described how heartbreaking it was to see such a vibrant, energetic friend fall seriously ill. They wrote him notes and promised that once he'd recovered, they'd go on a trip and play basketball together. just like the old times. But when they arrived at the hospital, they found out that Xia's condition had taken a turn for the worse. Visitation was no longer allowed. Still, they pleaded with the doctors and were granted just 2 minutes to see him from the hallway. As they weren't allowed to speak, they waved and held up a banner that said, "Xia, we'll wait for you." He said he missed them, and they'd reached out to each other across the space. Sadly, Xia passed away a few days later, but the love his friends showed, his quiet bravery, and their unwavering hope have touched and inspired millions.
Guys, how's the relationship with Grandpa? Well, we're not close, but the other day he called and greeted me, asked if I'm home. I said yes. Then he came and told me last night one of his neighbor, who is over 80 years old, has passed away. Then I realized he might be afraid of that death, because he's also old. So I decided to have lunch with him and walk around. Maybe just do nothing is also fine.
台湾好不好说嘛？好说，好说。哎，
我看你3个数字，市民大的指引，
哦，
给你们看到的最好。
That's his traveling story in Taiwan, although he has told me for 100 times. But every time he's just so excited to share it.
我在台湾有事儿好说的。
跟我现在话一样，品种稍微像我的酒锅啊，你嘛不懂，这是最好是多少你3个数字有点像。
From what I have experienced in my life, I think we really should spend more time with the elderly when we can. There's so little we can really do for them. Just don't want to look back one day after they're gone and I will regret for how I act at that afternoon.
Recently in China, I saw another thing that moved me a lot. A video went viral on the internet in China. These are not homeless people like in other countries' metro stations. They are. Recently in China, Zhengzhou is experiencing high temperatures. People captured warm moments in the subway stations, showed how tolerant China is. Workers taking a break and sleeping on the ground. Children playing. Elders hanging around in order to escape the hot weather. You wonder why it's a very moving thing. As we all know, people can be doing these kind of things in the metro station. And China is a country who is very strict in rules. And I guess that's why they keep their country safe, clean, organized, and united. But at the same time, they are very humanitarian, tolerant, and care about their own people. They didn't leave these people to feel the sun's heat. In fact, they provided these spaces for them without any hesitation. This moved everyone, including me. I'm living here in China and I see all this. And I want to share with you what I see. Rules are very necessary, but also being tolerant is necessary. And China is doing both. Peace and love.
If there's something that so many people haven't been able to do in this life, are struggling with, I would say it is making sacrifice. It is being able to let go of the comfort for them to be comfortable. The journey of life has always had its challenges, and the way to freedom, the way to comfort, the way to enjoyment is paved through suffering. There's an expression in French that says "L'homme se forme par la peine." Allow me to contrast this with what is happening in the United States right now, because my channel is based on this cultural difference. It's based on these two countries, guys. I also came across this video on my For You page on TikTok.
I don't feel sorry for anyone begging on GoFundMe after this Kerr County flood. Not when the real risks have been known for years and everyone in charge looked the other way. Camp Mystic owners, they gamed the system, got their buildings pulled off the flood map just to skip insurance and cram in more cabins right where the water hits hardest. And they pulled it off because FEMA back in the Obama days signed off on it. Same old American story. The rich pull strings and cash in while the poor and the clueless get left to suffer. And don't forget the rest of the community. They straight up turned down federal money for warning system because the devil's money from Biden was too much for their pride, even if it meant refusing real solutions. So now, after ignoring all the risk and refusing basic safety equipment, they want to play victim and ask the rest of us to help pay for their mess. You know, sometimes the lesson has to hurt. Maybe now they'll finally get it. After years of Fox News and Trump convincing them every government dollar is evil, all they're left with is loss and suffering, and a hard truth that they can't GoFundMe away.
To some extent, this creator is making sense. There you have a government that is collecting taxes from you without really serving its people. You are right on that. You are right on that. Yeah, they knew that this is what this president was going to do. Yes, you also knew that, but it doesn't really explain. It doesn't really gives you a justification for not helping. You get what I mean? So yeah, it can't give you a justification not to help, because once you stand up for each other, once you look up for each other, that's how you take power in your hand as a people, because people have power more than these politicians. People have power, but the problem is that we've not been able to discover the power of being together and coming together as a community and support each other. If you're able to build strength as a community, as a people together, you can be able to even overturn a government. You can be able to do a lot of things as a society. Yeah, I hope this video is beneficial to you. I felt that it's important that I bring that part of Chinese eating dogs, so that you get to understand what informed them eating dogs. People died of anger. It was catastrophic. I hope this video is beneficial to you. Kindly like the video for recommendations, subscribe if you're new here, share your thoughts in the comment section, and let's have a fruitful conversation in the comment section. I appreciate you. Goodbye for now.